Roland.
I'm Dan Bingham, and I'm excited to promote my show Now That I Have Your Attention at this summer's Montreal Fringe Fest. It's a story about relationship disasters. It's all I've ever had, and yeah, that's it.
Cool. And now the intro, just your name and the show. Oh, is that the intro?
To you or to...
Yeah.
Hi, Dan Bingham with Now That I Have Your Attention.
Cool. Okay, so let's start by talking about the show. So tell me a little bit about it.
Well, the show is basically about my desperate attempts to get women's attention and the disasters that happen once I have it. I've always been good at getting attention. It's like in Seinfeld, you know, once you have the reservation, yeah, that's usually when bad stuff happens. Either people end up crying, or hearts get broken, or people end up in jail or divorced. You name it, things go wrong.
Do you think that this is a relatable story?
I hope so. It'd be really awkward if it wasn't. Just an hour long of, yeah, I don't know what this guy's talking about. I hope so. That's the deal. That's been the goal the whole time.
What would you say is unique about this show?
Compared to all the other shows?
Other similar, other comedy shows, other shows.
Well, I mean, obviously it's unique because they're my stories. They're different from, I guess, a straight-up comedy show in the sense that it's not set up punchline jokes 100% the way through it. I mean, there are definitely jokes, but they're longer form stories with an overarching story. Like the show's an hour long, and it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then little stories with beginnings, middle, and ends all the way through. Yeah.
Cool.
And I think what will make it unique, hopefully, is that it's my perspective on things.
What kind of stage action are you taking? Like, is this very like just you on stage, or is there changing of sets, or?
It's pretty much just me on stage. There is a bit of an audio-visual element to it. You know, we do have a projector, so we're going to have some stuff going on behind me at certain times. A few interesting lighting changes to adapt to different characters that I dip into. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Just a dude on the stage.
Cool. What made you decide to take on this story?
Well, these are actually a collection of stories. And they've been stories that they've been kicking around in my head for years. You know, they've been stories that have just happened to me, and I've just wanted to find a way to tell them. Sometimes I've tried to tell them in comedy clubs, but you know, because they're maybe a little bit too long for a stand-up set, you know, where they just want a laugh every 20 seconds. So these are stories that I've been collecting my entire life. And that's what's awesome about the Fringe, is that you get a venue to tell these stories.
What is the Fringe bringing to your piece and your performance, but also your ability to network and get out there?
Well, I guess it's a different community. You know, there's a big acting community, a big dance community, and it's kind of connecting me to them. It introduced me to the Montreal Improv community. You know what? To me, improv was always like the goofy people that would open up for comedians at the comedy club. You know, and they would do these improv games, like on the spot improv. Nothing wrong with that. It was very funny, but I didn't even realize there was this whole other world of improv out there. And I met a lot of them at the Fringe, and it made me really interested in improv and got me more interested in acting. So it's definitely just helped me become a more rounded performer in the Fringe. You know, it's even forced me to maybe sing a little bit on stage, which I never used to do before. The Fringe is always, it's just allowed me to push myself to my limits by giving me a venue and an hour to do whatever the hell I want. So yeah, the Fringe has allowed me to kind of explore myself and pull more things out of me that I didn't even know I had as a comedian.
Cool. How many Fringes have you done now?
This will be my second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is this something you're gonna keep doing, or?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I've been joking around that, I mean, the closer we get to doing this show, the more I'm like, I'm never doing this again. I'm sick of it. I can't. It's too crazy. But you know, I love the creative process. I love live performance. Right now, the idea of doing another Fringe is the worst idea I could think of. But it's like when you're halfway through a plate of spaghetti with meatballs. You know, having another plate of spaghetti with meatballs is probably the worst thing, the last thing you'd want to do. But give it a couple of days, couple of weeks, and you're like, that was a good bowl of spaghetti with meatballs. Maybe I'll eat some more. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, my last Fringe was 2 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, I'm never doing this again. And then about a year went by, I'm like, maybe I'll do it again. Yeah.
Are you from Montreal originally?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, what is it that someone should come to your show for? Why should someone come to your show?
Well, first of all, to be able to laugh at me is a good reason to watch somebody, you know, fall down a lot, and then hopefully people will be able to recognize a bit of themselves in these stories. So to hear, they get to come and hear somebody basically make a fool of themselves. I don't know how a better way to say that. Yeah, and I guess just hear some good stories.
Awesome. That was great.